Hello, my name is Cindy Crawford. I'm the executive director and founder of Sycamore Farm, and I'm here going to do the orientation with you on who we are, what we're doing, and why we're here. The objective for this video is to help you understand our story, let you know our mission, our vision, our values. I'm going to let you meet our leadership team, and just our program in a snapshot and our strategic plan. Our whole mission is just the heartbeat behind Sycamore Farm is truly Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord is on me. He has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners. This is what we're trying to do. We are in commission with the Lord to do these things. And so this is the heartbeat behind Sycamore Farm. Our mission is to help sexually exploited women who are trafficked and exploited to find freedom through the love of Jesus. There are so many facets that play into this, but this is the main purpose of why we're even here. Our values, I like to say, are fresh. Our faith, because everything we do revolves around our faith in Christ and the Lord, and everything we do, we run by Him, we pray, we ask for His guidance in everything. We also rejoice in not just the good things, but the bad things, like even knowing that God is working behind us and working behind the scenes. We know that God works for the good of those who love Him, who's been called according to His purpose. And we feel like we know that we are in that group. So we rejoice in the good times and the not so good times, and we have our faith and our trust in Him. We also want to equip and empower. We don't want to just give a hand up or a handout. We want to help them find the tools, get connected to resources, and equip them with what the tools that they need to be successful in our program, but also beyond our program. And we want to empower them with not only tools and resources, but the truth of the Lord and that what He's doing in and through us. We want to share that with them and show them that through example. Shalom is peace. We want them to understand what peace is. Most of the women that we serve don't know what peace is. They have never really experienced peace. Many of them have had chaos in their lives from childhood. So helping them understand what peace is really one of the hardest but easiest things at the same time, because we know what peace is and we want to share that with them. So it just takes time for them to understand that this is a safe place, that we are safe for them and that we love them. And then, of course, health and safety. You can't get past anything if you're not healthy or safe. And so we want them, first and foremost, we want them to feel safe, and not just in the Freedom House, but with us at the jail ministry or anywhere we are. And then we also want to help them understand what healthy choices are and how being healthy all around will help them be healthier in the future. These are our 7 board directors, and they are a great group of people. Go for our board of directors, and every nonprofit has them. They are the oversight, and our goal is to have a very diverse group of people that have different skill set, different experience that can help guide us, not just through their own experience and talents, but in the way of the Lord. And so every one of them have a relationship with God, and are helping us with their talents and skills and experience to be the oversight of Sycamore Farm. And so they are basically my boss. And so they help keep me accountable, but they also help Sycamore Farm stay accountable and above reproach. And so this is an amazing group of people, and I hope you get to meet them soon. This is a diagram that shows kind of like where we've been and where we're going. And so you can see with that in 2019, we were incorporated. And then in June of 2020, we received our 501c3 status. So we were officially a nonprofit. But in 2021, we were accepted into the Institute for Shelter Care, which was an intense 2-week training program for shelters that are trying to either come up ground up, or they were already organized and operating. It didn't matter, but they would help us just kind of figure out our foundational documentation, policies, and procedures. A lot of even HR things, executive director and board relationships, just a lot of important aspects of shelter work and nonprofit work that you may or may not have even thought of. And so we learned a lot from that program. And so throughout 2021, we finalized a lot of paperwork and procedures and policies. We came up with our strategic plan. We did a lot of things, solidified our mission statement, many, many things. And then in March of 2022, we launched our hotel outreach. There's a hotel local in our area that has been known for this kind of involvement, this experience for these women that where they live there. They may work there, but they are being trafficked. Many of them are being exploited. And of course, most of them don't even know it. So we're building a relationship with them, teaching them that there is people out there that really care. We were trying to connect them with resources and just open that door of communication to let them know there is a way out if they want it. And then in March of 2023, we launched our jail outreach. And that was just an amazing, it's still going on. We love it. It's been an amazing opportunity to reach women that are incarcerated. And many of them, because of the overlapping issues with human trafficking, many of them are in jail and they're incarcerated for drug addiction, maybe they're prostitution, just lots of different things that overlap with the issue of human trafficking. And so we get to pour into them, love them, teach them Bible studies, but we also work on a ending the game curriculum. And we'll talk about that a little bit on how traffickers work, predators work, and how they can stop that abuse. And then in May of 2023, we opened the first and only emergency home in Louisville, Kentucky. And so we're very excited about that. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But and then now our goal, and it has always been our goal, but God has other plans. And so our goal now is to research, figure out what long-term programming would look like for us. And so we have our long-term residential program committee started. They have already started the work on researching, identifying our needs for long-term and how that's going to work and how that's going to play out. So you will see that coming in the future. Right now, we are an active participant in the Kentucky Statewide Human Trafficking Task Force, which is a group of programs, resources, advocates for anything human trafficking. There's law enforcement involved. There's mental health specialists. There's service providers like us. There's just several different areas. Some people are focused on labor trafficking. Some are focused on sex trafficking. Some are focused on education. And so we are a part of that. And it's a great way to help spread awareness and be a part of the movement in Kentucky, but also for us to be a part of the bigger aspect of human trafficking in Kentucky, and being a part of that is really important. We are also a part of the Louisville Metro Human Trafficking Task Force. And then we do prevention. So we do a human trafficking 101. And of course, the objectives is to help people understand what human trafficking is, why it's happening, how predators are grooming their victims, how they're keeping them, and then what is the appropriate way to respond that is safe and not going to get the victim in more danger. We have partnerships all over the state. We are so thankful. We cannot operate without partnerships. This is something that we need. Every nonprofit does, but sex trafficking, which is our main goal, is not a very it's not a topic that's talked about quite often. And most people think they already know what it is. They already understand it, and it doesn't happen here. And so that is just not true. So we need all the partners and help we can get. So church partners and foundations are huge. We talked about the Kentucky Statewide Human Trafficking Task Force. The National Trafficking Sheltered Alliance is a resource that shelters can go to, or anybody who's advocating for a victim can go to, and put a referral in for someone who needs a shelter, or we can go in there and try to find a shelter for somebody that is in our emergency home. The Kentucky Department of Education, we can offer ELA hours, which is like continuing education hours for teachers and admin in the Kentucky Department of Education. The Kentucky Nonprofit Network and Candid, we have a platinum transparency, which is really good for anyone who wants to dig a little deeper into our finances. This is a great way to do that. We also have a social enterprise, and use that term loosely because I mean it is what it is. But and I'll just say I used to make jewelry a long time ago. It was fun, and there's a longer story to how it got started. But when I started Sycamore Farm, we needed money for startup, and I was like, you know what? I got some jewelry left. I can make some more. We can go to craft shows and use that for the startup cost. And it was like $600 to file for a nonprofit. I think it was $1,000 or so to get, a lawyer or CPA to sign off on it, all those things. So we needed some startup money, and this is one way that we did that. But it's been a great way to get out into the community and talk about human trafficking with just everyone around us. So we still do it. We do one or two, on average, one or two shows a month. Especially in the busy seasons, we may do 3 or 4 a month. But we sell jewelry. It's all handmade. I make all of it. There are some people that have come alongside and made some jewelry with us, some bracelets and stuff. But we sell the earrings, we sell bracelets, and it 100% goes to help our mission. So and how that works is I buy the products that is needed to make the finished product, and then I just donate it all to Sycamore Farm. And that way, all the money made goes directly back into Sycamore Farm. Our jail outreach. So I talked about the ending the game curriculum. We are so focused on not just doing Bible study like churches do, and that's great because people need that. Everybody needs that, especially the ones that are incarcerated and most broken and struggling with, their past mistakes and so forth. But we want to focus on finding those who are enslaved in sex trafficking or sexual exploitation. And so ending the game curriculum is a curriculum that's 10 weeks, and it was written by sex trafficking survivors for sex trafficking survivors. And it teaches about, they learn what human trafficking is and how the coercion and those tactics that predators use to groom them and keep them. It gives them an opportunity to reflect on their own experiences and how that may have affected them. And it also is an important way for us to connect them to resources that they need individually. Like some may need things that others may not. And so we want to help them get connected to resources and build their foundation or rebuild their foundation to understand that God loves them, that they are worthy, that they are loved, and they are precious, and they deserve love and joy and to be happy. And so it focuses on like false promises. These are just some of the lessons that they talk about. One is false promises. One is emotional intensity versus emotional intimacy, and the difference in both. Like we can get those confused, especially if you're very vulnerable or if you've been abused in the past. People take advantage of that. Disassociation, isolation, just different tactics that we may fall in prey to. So our safe house is our freedom house, we call it, and it is a short-term emergency home for women that have been sex trafficked, sexually exploited, that want to escape their trafficking situation. This is an emergency situation. It's short-term. They can stay up to 60 days if they are utilizing the program that we have. And so they get their immediate needs met, and that means they're going to come in for, a day or two, get acclimated. They're going to get safe. They're going to feel safe. And then our goal is to stabilize them. So we want to make sure they got the medicine they need. We want to make sure they begin the program. They get on a routine. So they're on a schedule. They're seeing a therapist. And so they understand. We're starting to talk about the healing process, what it takes. We want them to understand that because they have to be involved in it. And so that's part of the stabilization. And then we're going to execute a plan. What is your long-term needs? What does that look like for you? How do we get you there? And so this is all a part of the programming. It's designed to help women understand that this is a journey. It's not just okay, I'm here and that's it. And now I'm safe and all I need is an apartment, or not, all I need is a job. And many of them will say that. But our goal is to get them to their long-term residential program. And if that's not for them, then we want to help them get to a place that is their next best step. And that's what we call it, their next best step, because everyone that comes to our house is different. Every woman that has come to our house has been completely different. There may be some similarities, but every one of them is different and their needs are different. The healing process for them is going to look different. So we want them to be able to be self-aware of their situation, their behavior, and what is it going to take to get them to their next best step, and what and how we're going to get them there. In the emergency program, this is just kind of a time frame of how that's going to look, and they will take 1 to 24 hours for the intake to really kind of get done. And they come in, they get immediate safety. They'll start the intake process, which is paperwork and some questionnaires. They'll get drug tested, pregnancy tested. We're going to determine what her needs are, like immediate needs, and we're going to try to get those filled. The immediate needs process usually takes 1 to 8 hours. We're hoping within the first 24 hours they can get that. So they're going to begin the program pretty much right away. And so we'll be beginning to understand what her needs are, but also she's going to start to calm down. Think of a snow globe that's shaken. You have all the snow all around. That's normal for them. But when they come to the emergency home, the snow globe stops. And then all of that snow just kind of settles. And to them, that feels like chaos. So it takes a little bit of time for them to just learn that we're not there to hurt them, that we're not going to take advantage of them. We're not trying to re-exploit them. And it just takes a little bit. So usually 1 to 3 or 4 days, that's usually when they start to stabilize. And then so 7 to 24 days, they'll be in that stabilization period where they are getting assessed, they're getting on the program, they're talking to the case coordinator, and they're working on what does next best steps look like. And for them, they may not be able to even think about that for a week or so. So we're trying to get them stable, have peace, feel safe, all those things. So we can start talking about that next step. And that includes assessing the situation. Like many of them may not be able to even talk about it, but we're going to get them the therapy they need. We're going to get them medical care, whatever that looks like. I know a girl that didn't have glasses, that her trafficker and his friends would just steal stuff from her, and they would always take her glasses because her eyesight was so bad. And then they would just just pick on her and tease her and follow her around and just drive her crazy. So we got her glasses, and that was just one of the most basic need for her that just changed everything. Like she could finally see, she could understand the world around her a little bit better because she could see better. So that little things like that mean a world of difference. And then we want to find placement. So like I said, 30 to 60 days is what we should be able to find that placement for her. If we do our job right through the intake and stabilization, we should be able to find her a place within 30 to 60 days. And of course, she has to be involved in it. She has to want it. And so we do everything we can to help her her understand what we're here for so that when she does come, nothing's new, nothing's a surprise. And that's so important because most of the time they have no control. And we want them to feel like they do have autonomy. So it's important that they know what's to expect. And so we try to be as transparent as we can. But finding placement is the ultimate goal. So at the Freedom House, these are just some examples of what we're trying to convey. This is a safe place. You have a supportive community with you here. We want to offer a family atmosphere, and that just means, we're going to do some chores together. We're going to clean together. We're going to cook together. This is how healthy families operate. We're going to clean up after ourselves. We're going to take care of our hygiene, things like that. And many of them, they may not have had that guidance as children or even as adults. And so they may not even know. We want to grow and learn with them, but we also want to teach them that, we are not any better than anybody else. We're not better than them. We just have been, we have the Lord who guides us, and we want them to know Him too. And so we do CBT therapy, we do DBT therapy. They also get their own personal counselor, and there's also a medical professional that they will have as well. And then they will get resources for healing, whatever that looks like. But ultimately, we want them to know who Jesus is. We want to be an example of who He is, and we want her to feel loved. We want her to have that kind of peace that surpasses all understanding. We want her to know that Jesus loves her, that He chose her, and that this story doesn't have to be who she is, that God brings us through our hardships, and it can become a testimony if we allow Him to work through that. These are just some pictures of our Freedom House, and um, just want it to look like a home. We have 2 beds in the room now, but we are only taking one woman at a time at the moment. We just need more staff or more volunteers, and we're working on that. But right now, it's just one at a time, which helps us focus on her needs alone. And that can be a double-edged sword, but it's good. It's good. But yeah, so this is some pictures of our house, and we love it. So, and then our volunteer needs are as follows. I've broken it down into 2 categories. You have the hands-on and the behind the scenes. So the behind the scenes, you can be a trainer for human trafficking. You can work the craft shows, and you can help with events, whether it's fundraising or helping to pick up donations or gathering donations or organizing or working on our social media. All those things are behind the scenes if people don't feel comfortable with working hands on. And that's okay. That's a great place to start if you just want to get your feet wet, because we need all the help we can get in all of these categories. But hands on, you can do join us in the jail outreach. It's every Saturday. We go in for a couple hours, and there's at least 2 people that go in at a time. Most of the time in the jail outreach, there's about 6 to 20 women, but most of the time there's less than 20. There's usually like 8 to 10 is typical. But we go in and we teach the ending the game. We do Bible studies, we worship, we pray, and it's just a really wonderful time. These women that come to the class, they know what it's for, so they want to be there. And they are hungry. They are so hungry for the word. They are hungry to be heard and seen. It's really a beautiful thing to witness. It's a great place, an easy place to start if you want to do some hands-on. And then also we have, a house assistant. We call them resident assistants. But it's just being a mentor, filling in vacant slots, or a weekend volunteer. You can, how that works is you will shadow for as long as you feel like shadowing. You can just be a shadow, just come in and be a support volunteer, and you'll be there with staff or another volunteer who's been an assistant for a while. And you can come do a craft, you can come do dinner, you can do a Bible study or devotional with them. And it's a great place to start as well. And hopefully our goal for that is to get you able to fill a vacant slot if needed. Because that's kind of our greatest need is a house volunteer, somebody who can come in and help fill some slots. And it can be anywhere from a 3 to 10-hour slot. Just depends on how comfortable you are, how vetted you are, and how much you want to do it. But we do lots of training for all of these things, so you can have confidence in being around these women, and just knowing that we don't have to have all the answers. I've got tons of training for you. And then the jail phone mentorship. This is something that just kind of organically happened. It wasn't kind of in the cards. Neither was Joe Outreach, but that's a whole other conversation. But the Lord works in mysterious ways. And so we let Him guide us. And with the jail phone mentorship, this is really kind of they don't have much time on the phone. So this is just a phone call from somebody who's incarcerated. And they just want somebody to talk to. They want somebody to pray with them. They may want you to call a friend for them or something, but don't have to do anything like that. We want them to be heard, and we want to pray for them, and we want to love them, and we want to show them that we care. And so we have to exude good boundaries. They may ask you to call a friend. They may ask you to do things like put money on their account or whatever. We're not doing any of that stuff. It's always a no. And after you tell them no once or twice, they stop asking because they know that you mean no. They're like kids. They only let you go. They'll only try as long as you let them. So if you put money on their account, they're going to come back for more money on their account, and they're going to keep doing that. But we don't want to do that. We do not want to do that. We want them to know that we are here to help them be healthy, make good choices, and pray with them, show them what Jesus looks like, and all of that. So we don't give them any money. We don't buy them gifts. We don't do any of that. It all goes through Sycamore Farm, and it has to be approved. And that's with house assistants as well. But all of this, there's training for all of it. So if there's anything you're interested in, or you want to jump in and see or find out about, just let us know which one you want to check out. So that is it for the Sycamore Farm orientation. I hope that you learned a lot. There's really so much more I could say about each slide, but trying to keep it down to as quick as I can, because I know everyone has so much going on and on their plate. So please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you for taking this, watching this video, and we hope to hear from you soon.